The economy is essentially a vast array of supply chains. In this example, it will be demonstrated how, in the process of moving through the supply chain, a product that sells for $10 retail generates $22 worth of producer credits against it, and why this is not a problem. Let's assume the extreme case where each entity in the supply chain spends its own producer credits to be redeemed for 100% of the selling price of the production at that stage. If we add up all the producer credits spent, 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 10 equals $22 of producer credits that would have been spent into the system against only $10 worth of final product. This seems like a fatal flaw in the idea, but it is actually a mathematical illusion. Remember that all producer credits are timed by the producer to be spent when the producer wants them to be spent, and result in either a sale, or if not redeemed, a windfall of extra unsold stock for the producer to spend new credits against. Therefore, the motivation for the current owner to spend or trade in these credits when the prospective customer wants to acquire them is assumed. This step-by-step analysis is simplified by not converting to the RISA unit. However, it is assumed that producer credits maintain their purchasing power and every sale price is the discount price. In this example, producer credits are only used as savings. They are not used as a means of exchange. Step 1. The primary producer sells $2 worth of primary producer credits to the retailer's customers. The primary producer pays $1 in fiat money for supplies and another $1 in fiat money for wages, operating expenses, and dividends. Total primary producer credit money equals $2, and the price of the goods at this stage also equals $2. Step 2. The processor sells $4 in processor credits to the retailer's savers and spends $2 of the fiat money to obtain $2 worth of primary producer credits, which are redeemed for primary producer product and extinguished. The processor pays another $2 in fiat money for its wages, operating expenses, and dividends. Total PC money in the system is now $4. Total price of the goods at this point is also $4. The wholesaler sells $6 in wholesaler credits to the retailer's savers and spends $4 of the fiat money to obtain $4 worth of processor credits, which are redeemed for processor product and extinguished. The wholesaler pays another $2 in fiat money for its wages, operating expenses, and dividends. Total producer credit money in the system is now $6. Total price of the goods at this point is also $6. The retailer obtains $6 of the wholesaler's credits with $6 of its own retailer credits and pays for the goods. Therefore, $6 of the wholesaler's producer credits have now been extinguished. The retailer pays another $4 in retailer credits for wages, operating expenses, and dividends. There are now $10 in retailer credits in the hands of the public at large, and $10 worth of goods available from the retailer. All debts, wages, and profits have been accounted for and paid. The retailer could also have sold $4 of retailer credits for fiat money to pay its expenses like the other participants. This scenario proves that there is no math problem if each participant in the supply chain were to sell their own producer credits through the retailer. Each stage consumes the credit from the previous one. However, to do it this way required multiple exchanges of 4 different producer credits for a total of $22 in fiat money. Limiting the issuance of producer credits to the retailer only makes the whole system much simpler and requires as little as one sale of producer credits for just $10 of fiat money. The retailer sells $10 of producer credits for fiat money and pays $4 for wages, etc., and $6 to the wholesaler, who pays $2 to wages, etc., and $4 to the processor, who pays $2 for wages, etc., and $2 to the primary producer, who pays $1 for supplies and $1 for wages, etc. Clearly, limiting the supply chain producer credits to the retailer is more efficient and to be preferred. But if every stage issues its own producer credits, it does not create any impossible math. In this scenario, we will examine producer credits as the only means of exchange. This system requires no input of fiat money. The primary producer pays $1 in producer credit for supplies. The primary producer pays another $1 in primary producer credits for wages, operating expenses, and dividends. The processor obtains $2 of the primary producer credits with $2 of its own processor credits and pays for the goods. The processor pays another $2 in producer credits for wages, operating expenses, and dividends. The wholesaler obtains $4 of the processor's credits with $4 of its own wholesaler credits and pays for the goods. The wholesaler pays another $2 in producer credits for wages, operating expenses, and dividends. The retailer obtains $6 of the wholesaler's credits with $6 of its own retailer credits and pays for the goods. The retailer pays another $4 in retailer credits for wages, operating expenses, and dividends. There are now $10 in retailer credits in the hands of the public at large and $10 worth of goods available from the retailer. All debts, wages, and profits have been accounted for and paid. Again, the whole system can be simplified if only the retailer issues producer credits. Step 1. The retailer spends $6 of retailer credits for the wholesale goods and $4 of retailer credits in wages, etc. Step 2. The wholesaler spends $4 of retailer credits for the processed goods and $2 of retailer credits in wages, etc. Step 3. The processor spends $2 of retailer credits for the primary production and $2 of retailer credits in wages, etc. 4. The primary producer spends $1 of retailer credits for supplies and $1 of retailer credits in wages, etc. Clearly, in a fully deployed system, retailers would have the power to create credit for their whole supply chain and the economy as a whole without the use of any fiat money. But the producer credit system is also entirely compatible with the fiat money system and corrects its fundamental mathematical flaw. Therefore, its introduction can be non-disruptive. The most logical strategy for introducing producer credits is for retailers to sell their customers their own retailer credits as an inflation-proof savings product redeemable in retail goods from the retailer. In this crowdfunding application, the producer credit would be sold once and redeemed once, possibly just once per year. For example, natural food retailers could offer producer credits to customers as a direct ethical investment in their own near-future food supply, which would be precisely the truth and easily understood by consumers as an upscaling of community-supported agriculture to the supermarket level.